Hello, my friends. Hello, Cambly learners. How are you? Welcome to this week's Cambly Live. Today we're going to be studying pronunciation. Now, we're going to wait a few minutes just to make sure that everyone has time to connect and give you guys an opportunity to share this video with your friends. Remember that you can share the link on YouTube. In the future, you're going to be able to watch the video on Instagram. And of course, that way you're going to be able to like and share with all of your friends and all of your family. In the meantime, why don't you guys say hi? Where are you tuning in from? I see that there are people from Japan, from the United Arab Emirates. Okay, and also from Brazil. Awesome. India. I have some students from India, from Brazil, and also from Japan. So welcome, guys. It's great to see you. I see, okay. I see people from Singapore. Great. I see Anne Cooks from Bangladesh. Awesome. Nice to see you here, Anne. Okay, I also see Stadlena from Switzerland. Not many students from Switzerland, but it's awesome to see you guys now getting on to the platform and to the videos. I see Bilal from Malaysia, also from Japan, Sachi. Max from Bangladesh, awesome. Natalia from Chile, awesome. For another student from India, that's great. And Michael, I believe, from Egypt. That's awesome, you guys. It's great to see everyone. We have a very, very diverse student base, and it's always great to see you all here. Remember, share this video with your friends. Like the video. The more you like it, the more we know you love it, and the more videos we can make. I also see from Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Okay, awesome. And Razan from Palestine. Go Palestine. That's awesome. Excellent. Excellent. So, as I was saying, guys, just in case you want to share this video with a friend, of course, you're going to be able to send the link when this class is over, or you can also watch some snippets, some clips of the video on Instagram. That is to make sure that you always have a way to share it with your friends and family, and that they always know that Cambly is there for you. I see Samuel. Hi, Samuel. Rajnish from India. Okay, a lot of people from India. That's awesome. That's very, 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 very cool. I have some students from India. They're great. Deepak, awesome. Saif from Oman. Nice, nice. Suprasad from Bangladesh. Hello. Hi, how are you? Trang, I also see. Hello. Okay, guys, so remember, today we're going to be studying pronunciation. Pronunciation can be a very tricky subject for some people, but we're going to give you some strategies to help. Okay. I also see Serkan from Cyprus, more people from Bangladesh, even from Somalia. That's also great. Trang from is Vietnamese and Zainel from Germany. Awesome. Myanmar, from India, from Taiwan, from Pakistan. That's awesome. It's really, really great. I also see Nurselin is tuning in from the USA. I imagine she traveled there. Okay, that's awesome. Perfect. Excellent. So, people from Pakistan, people from Bangladesh, also people that are living in Florida. Hi from Syria. Awesome. Syria. From the KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Awesome. And hugs from Barcelona. Thank you so much. I also send you all of you guys, I send you hugs from Peru, from Ethiopia, Pakistan. Awesome. So, guys, as I was saying, we're going to study today pronunciation. Pronunciation is a bit of a tricky subject. It's one of the most important things that you have to study and practice to become a very, very good, fluent speaker in any language. Now, before we start the actual lesson, there's something that we have to understand. One of those things is accent, and the other one is movement. I'm going to explain why. First of all, everybody has an accent. I'm from New York, so I have a New York accent. People from the United Kingdom have an accent from the United Kingdom, and even in the United Kingdom, these accents are different. People from South Africa, from New Zealand, from Australia, you name it. Every country has a language with their own accent. Okay. This is very, very, very acceptable. Accents are not bad. We just have to have a clear accent and we shouldn't change accents while we're speaking. Okay. So if you want a North American accent, just make sure that you're not changing your accent to a British accent in the middle of the sentence. That's what sounds confusing. Okay. Whatever accent you choose, stay with that accent and try to learn all of the sounds within that accent. Okay. Now, the next part that we really, really have to remember and understand about accents is movement. Movement is actually the mother of pronunciation. Many people try to copy the sound when somebody is speaking, and that can be useful, but it's not very clear. For example, when I clap, my hands make a very clear sound. When I snap my fingers make a very clear sound. So I can't make a snapping sound while I'm clapping my hands, even though I try. That means that to have the correct pronunciation, the most important thing is to know how to move your mouth, your tongue, your teeth, everything. With the correct movements, you're going to have the correct pronunciation without too much effort. Okay. Guys, before we begin, just a reminder, if you haven't been able to tune in from the very beginning, or if you want to share it with your friends, we're going to share, you can share the video on Instagram, you can send a link on YouTube. There are many ways to share, so make sure you do that. Also, at the end of the video, we're going to share a promo code for those of you that haven't signed up for Cambly just yet. I see that some people are tuning in still from Nepal. That's awesome. Excellent. Every question you have, we're going to have a little time at the end to answer them, okay? So start thinking about your questions. For now, we're going to focus on some very basic sounds that are the most important sounds in English that people sometimes mispronounce, okay? We are going to start with a very, very difficult and very, very, very common TH sound. You're going to notice, guys, that I'm going to post up images and drawings instead of the actual letters, because the image or the drawing is going to explain the movement, and that is more important than just the symbol. Okay? For example, the TH sound has a very, very, very particular position of the tongue and the teeth. Sometimes many people pronounce T like a T sound. However, that's not actually correct. Instead of this, our tongue should be in the middle of our teeth. You can see from the side that the tongue is right in the middle, almost like you're biting your tongue. If you've ever fallen down and bitten your tongue, you know it's extremely painful, so don't put too much pressure. It's just a little bit of touching. With that position, you blow out air, and that creates the TH sound. Okay? Th. Th. A good rule is that you should always be able to see your tongue, or the person that's speaking to you should be able to see your tongue, at least a little tip. If you're able to see your tongue in a mirror, or if somebody can see your tongue while they're talking to you, when you're pronouncing the TH sound, it means that you are pronouncing it correctly. Okay? Th, th, th. That is one of the very, very, very difficult sounds in English that many people sometimes forget or mispronounce. Okay? What words can you guys think of with a TH? Just to clarify, the TH actually has two little sounds. It has a little bit of a variation. Okay? We have what's called a voice and a voiceless TH. Basically, you can think of them as the soft TH and the hard TH. Okay? Think of words like think or thank you. Th, th, th. You'll notice how my tongue is going in because I'm blowing air. Th, 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 th. Right? It's a very soft sound. It's a very, very nice, subtle sound. That is the voiceless TH. Th, th, th. However, there are also some other words that have a little bit of a stronger TH sound. For example, they, them, that. Exactly. Sachi got it right. That is a word with TH, and it is pronounced with a voiced TH. Thank you, Sachi, for participating. That. There is a small difference in the way that we pronounce the TH that is soft and the TH that is hard. The TH that is soft is used by pushing out air, tha, 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 while the TH that is voiced is produced by vibrating the tongue between your teeth. Obviously, you can't see it because it's very small, but that's the key. Okay. I also see Chimikala saying those. Those is also a word that is voiced. Those. Those. Sachi again is telling us there, them, though. Now, I know that this might be confusing, but there isn't one formal rule to explain when you should use the soft one and when you should use the hard one. A good little tip is that pronouns, they, them, and pronouns in general, are typically voiced. Okay? This is just a little tip, but it's not a very, very strong rule. Okay? Now, like I said, there are many words with TH, so try to practice with me, guys. What other words with TH can you think of? I see people saying throat or throughout. Very, very good. That is a soft one. Throat and throughout. So very good. Try to practice this on your own. Remember, the golden key here is that the tip of your tongue should be a little bit visible. If it's not visible, it means that you should extend your tongue more. Some people are shy and they feel like, I don't want to extend my tongue so much, but it should be visible. Okay. Think. Thank you, Razan. They, them, thee. Thank you. Thank you is also a word. So excellent. I think you guys got that down. Now, there is also a very, very tricky distinction between two letters that many people sometimes confuse and mispronounce. Like I said, guys, I'm not going to post the letter just yet. I'm going to show you the movement because I really want you to understand the movement. That is the L and the R. Okay? L, R. As you can see, guys, the tongue is in a different position with a little bit of a different shape. This is the most important thing to distinguish the L and the R. Sometimes people sort of confuse them and they don't really know why. The reason that these two letters are sometimes confused is because they imply a movement of the tongue like this, right? It's almost like you're licking your tongue a little bit. But the trick is to know where to move your tongue and how to position it. So, in the case of the L, our tongue should be pushing a little bit forward. La. Right now, you can actually see my tongue coming out a little bit of my mouth. La, la, la. It's licking and it's going to the front. La, la. There's a very fun Bob Marley song that has a lot of la, la, la that I recommend if you want to practice. But that's the key. It's a nice, simple positioning of the tongue and then pushing out. La, la, la. And then the R is actually the complete opposite. When I push the L, it's forward. When I say the R, it's all the way back. R. It should be curved back, almost as if you wanted to swallow your tongue. Going back into the throat with a little bit of a curve. All right? So it goes like that. This is a very, very simple way to distinguish them, but of course we do need to practice. Guys, what words can you think of with the L and the R? And just as a reminder, for those of you that are just tuning in, or for those of you that want to share the video, you're going to be able to share the link when this video is over, and you're going to be able to watch these clips or the full video on our Instagram. So remember to like the pages, to subscribe, to follow, whatever it may be. Be aware of all of our social media because frequently we're making these videos and giving out promo codes like the one that I'm going to give at the end of the video. Okay, so going back to the R and the L, what words can you think of? Remember, the key is to position the tongue correctly. L in the front, R in the back. Okay. A little trick that you can do, is you can actually use a pencil to make sure that when you're saying the R, your tongue is actually back and not in the front. When I say L, la 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 la, obviously my tongue pushes the pencil back. But when I say R, the pencil has a little bit of room to go in. So you can use it as a sort of guide to make sure that your tongue is being pushed back. For example, words like rare. Thank you, Anne, for participating. Rare. Really going back. Rare. Okay. I see light. Lemon. Very good examples of the L sounds. Mulai and Namita. Thank you. I see roaming. Lying. Roar. Notice how my tongue is visible whenever I say the L, light, lying. And whenever I say the R, it's not. Roaming, roar. I see right. Very, very good. The right, the word right, even though it starts with a W, has a very clear R sound. Right. Okay. Mudasir asks how to pronounce lollipop. Well, there you go. Lollipop. As you can see, lollipop. Lollipop. And we also have other words that sometimes have the R and the L, maybe not together or sometimes together. For example, rule. The trick here is to start off in the back with the R and then push your tongue forward. Rule. So actually what my tongue is doing is being pushed forward. It's like a slow movement. Rule. The same thing with girl, right? Curving from the back to the front. Okay, so Natalia is saying lately. Very, very good. Lately. Be very careful not to get them confused. As I said, guys, the clearest and simplest way to distinguish them is with a clear positioning of the tongue. The R in the back, nice and curved, the L in the front. Again, another trick, the L is typically visible. You can usually see your tongue. L, like literally, lost, loitering. Very good. Well, right, love, world. And for the R, it's from the back, curving back, so you can actually use a pencil to mark the position. World. So you curve from the back, world. And there you have it. Now, for those of you guys that didn't see the full explanation, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram page, because you're going to be able to rewatch all of the videos that we make, okay? Now, there is also another sound that's actually kind of tricky. There are two sounds, actually, and that is the W and the V. Now, you'll notice I put up some arrows here, but why? It's because we have to be very aware of the position of our teeth. Or whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay? Now, the W and the V are very, very frequently confused, and we have to be careful with that. The easiest, simplest way to be careful with the W or the V is to just put the position of our teeth in the correct way. When I'm teaching my students the W, I always tell them to imagine a kiss. Imagine kissing your friend, your spouse, whomever you like, or blowing a kiss. When you blow a kiss like that, obviously you notice how your lips are pushing forward. However, with the W, we start at that same position, almost like we're going to blow a kiss, but we pull our lips back. Wah, we, when, wah. So we extend our lips just like we're about to kiss something or somebody, and we push them back. Wah, wah, wah. you'll notice that my teeth are not touching my lips, my tongue, or anything. That's why I put the arrow here, just to remind you guys. Our teeth should be in. They should have nothing to do with the W. Wa, wa. Okay? Wa. And for the V, it's actually completely different. The V completely depends on the teeth. What you should do is sort of bite down on your lower lip. Again, very softly, giving just a little bit of space so it can vibrate. You'll notice that my teeth are actually a little bit visible. Okay, so to distinguish the W and the V, we have our teeth in and our lips out. Wa for the W, wa, wa, like a kiss. And we have our teeth on the outside or pushing out with our lips in. V, like very. Okay. Now, guys, what are some words that you can think of with the W and the V? I already see some of you participating. Thank you, Brijesh, for being impressed. I see walk to work. Again, you can see my tongue. I'm sorry. You can see that my lips are extending almost as if I'm going to kiss. Walk and work. Where? What? Thank you, Denise. I see Sachi saying vowel, vanilla. V. Verb from Razan. Very good. Vowel, vanilla, verb. Okay. And then I see other words like wall, waterfall, when, why. Okay. So with the W, our lips forward and our teeth back. And with the V, our lips back and our teeth forward. Okay. Thank you. Guys, very, very good words. Very, very good participation. Now, last but not least, we're also going to, for these tricky distinctions, I'm also going to remind you guys of the B and the V. Okay. The V we already practiced, so this is here just to make sure that you don't mix them up. But the B is what we call a labial sound. It is actually made by pressure from the lips. I'm here popping, but I just want you to see the movement. So as you can see in the drawing, our lips curve in and slowly curve out. This is what creates the B sound, B, which is definitely not the same as V. Okay, be very, very, very careful not to confuse the B and the V. This position, this movement is very, very important. Okay. Now that you guys have a very general idea of the most difficult and important English sounds that you have to practice, there are also some bad habits that people have when speaking. I just have 3 of them here. Like I said, practicing these is very, very important. Once you know how to distinguish the R and the L, the W and the V, and you can pronounce the TH sounds very well, you're going to sound so much better. So much better. But there are also some bad habits that you have to be careful with. Okay. The most common, many of you probably know, is the very difficult, very tricky ED sound. Okay. The ED sound is difficult for everybody. But the main thing is that it's difficult because it's a bad habit. Not because it's difficult to pronounce, but because it's kind of something that people forget. As a general rule, we should avoid pronouncing the E. There are some exceptions, but it's more common that the D is the only letter that is pronounced. Okay. Now, obviously, the ED is used commonly in verbs in the past. Okay. So, with verbs in the past that end in ED, we normally, not always, but normally only pronounce the D. The E normally disappears. Okay. Think of talked, walked, or cooked, right? We never say cook ed or walk ed or talk ed. We typically only pronounce the D. Okay. Guys, remember, right before I go on that you can share the video. You're going to be able to rewatch the video. You can send the link. You can watch it on Instagram, whatever it may be. So, as always, guys, remember to follow all of our social media and share it with your friends. The more audience we have, the more we know that you guys like it, the more we know that we should keep making more content. Okay. In a few minutes, I'm going to answer the last questions that you have, and I'm going to give you guys the promo code. Okay. For, I think, 36% off on Cambly if you're new. Okay. Now, let's go on with another one. That's the ED down. Remember, the past is usually an ED, right? And we only pronounce the D sound normally. There are some exceptions. Okay. Now, there is another sound that is kind of tricky. That is the S and the Z. Okay. The S and the Z. Okay. This is actually a very important thing because in some languages, it sounds very similar or actually completely the same. In English, it doesn't. The Z is a very hard sound and the S is a little bit softer. They both share a position. Okay, so your tongue is kind of pushing to your teeth like that. The difference is that S is air and Z is vibration. Okay. It's just blowing out air. And Z is vibrating. Okay. That's why people sometimes get it confused because it's actually in the same position, but with a different movement. So we have to be very careful that whenever we see a Z, we pronounce that really, really strong vibration. Z. Okay. So remember, the same position, but a different little movement. Z or S, just air. I see the Sukan saying sound. Very good. Sound. Nice and soft. You see how those letters are actually very soft. Sound. And I see Razan saying size. So it starts off soft, like S, and then it becomes hard. Size. Z. I'm making this curve because our tongue comes back to the original position, right behind our teeth. Size. Size. Okay, so it goes back. Sneeze. Thank you. Thank you, Senna. Sneeze. Sneeze. I also see zoom, silent, zippy, zero. Very, very, very good, guys. So that's the distinction between the S and the Z. Okay. Now, we have one final letter that is very tricky and is actually very irregular. Okay. I just want to remind you guys that this is a little bit more advanced and it varies according to the dialect. So I'm not going to make a full explanation here because it really, really depends on what dialect you want to learn. Like I said, I'm from New York, so I have a New York accent. So I have New York sound from North America. They're very similar. But people that want to learn, for example, a British accent will have to learn it differently with a British tutor or someone who has that kind of sound. Okay. I just wanted to explain that the T sound can be a little bit irregular depending on the accent that you're speaking with. Think of the way that I say water. Okay. When the T is in the middle of some words, it kind of becomes softer and lower. Water, better, Italy, in my accent. However, in other accents, it's a little bit stronger, like water, Italy, okay, or butter. That would be something like a British accent. I'm sorry that I'm not absolutely perfect at a British accent, but that's more or less what it would sound like. Okay. So again, guys, if you want to learn a British accent or a North American accent, that is totally up to you. And both of them are correct. So you just have to find the right tutor for you that can explain this little distinction. Okay. Because there are some kind of general rules to explain why sometimes we pronounce a soft T in English, like in North American English, like water, but we also pronounce hat or met. Okay. Like I said, the T sound is sometimes softer in North American English if it's in the middle of the word. Data, water, better. Okay. But if it's the beginning or the end of the word, it remains hard. 2, 10, top, or hat, kit, met, tooth, for example. I see battle, Serkan. Thank you. That is sort of in the middle, so it's a little bit softer. But guys, this again is a little bit depending on what type of accent that you want to learn. So on Cambly, you can find many, many different tutors depending on what kind of accent you want to learn. And all of these are going to be able to actually give a better explanation depending on your needs. Okay, so it's always very, very important to find the right tutor for you and meet all of us. So guys, we're kind of coming to a close on this live. We're ending now. And I just wanted to ask you if you have any other questions. Okay, put any difficult words that you have down below. I'll read them to you and I'll explain if they're a little bit difficult. Last but not least, guys, in a few minutes, we're going to give out the promo code for Cambly, right? Just in case you haven't signed up to Cambly, you're going to be able to use this promo code to get a very, very good discount. And as a reminder, guys, follow all of our social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram page. Remember that you can share this video. You can share the link to rewatch it yourself, or of course, you can share it with your friends, with your family. You can share the Instagram link so that more people know about us and we can keep making more of these classes. Okay. So what difficult words can you guys think of? What words do you have a little bit of difficulty pronouncing? Right after that, we'll just give out the promo code. Okay. Okay. Thought and through, as Sukan is saying. Okay. Yes, these groups of words are very, very difficult and they take a lot of practice. The thing is that they actually vary and they're irregular. The correct way to pronounce them is thought and through. So you have to be very careful to make a TH sound in the beginning, th, and then a hard T at the end. Thought, right? So here's the position with your tongue visible. Remember, that's the golden rule. Your tongue should be just a little bit visible. Thought. And then it stops with a hard T. Okay? Thought. Very, 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 very good. I see somebody asking me to say car. So remember, with the R, our tongue curves back. Car. Right? Car. Car. Okay, very good. I also see Hikaru saying literally. This is a little bit tricky because it mixes the L and the R. But you have to remember that the L and the R are clear when we have the correct position in our tongue. La for the L, nice and clear in the front, la, la, la. And the R is way back. So when we say a word like literally, okay, I'm going to say that again. Liter, so our tongue covers back with the T and the R. Liter, and then it pushes forward again. Literally. Okay. Literally. Okay. Very, very good. I also see Sana saying squirrel. Similar thing. So squirrel is a little bit simpler in the beginning. Squirrel, and then roll. Squirrel. Right. So from the back to the front. Roll. Squirrel. Okay. Very, very good. Excellent. Any other words? You have me for a few minutes still, guys. Also remember that you can actually reserve a class with me using the link below. Just in case you want a pronunciation specialist, I am an accent coach and a dialect coach, so I can explain all of these rules in more detail, and I can actually help you get a perfect English pronunciation, depending on whatever region or dialect you want. Okay. I also see somebody saying thumb, the TH, nice and clear, with the tip of your tongue visible. Thumb, thumb, thumb. And I see Raji saying some examples with the V and the V and the B. Sorry, V and B. So the V, labiodental, the teeth on the lip, and the B with our lips, right? You can see that there. Ba, ba. So for example, I could say very, view, viscous, vision, vision, very, view, and then I could say some with the B. So like bold, book, boring. Okay, excellent. And last word I'm going to help you guys with is clothes. Okay, this is very tricky because it mixes the TH with a Z sound. It is an S, but because it's a soft sound, the ending should be a little bit harder. Okay, so we say clo, that's the beginning, and that's very easy, clo, but then we have th, th. So we start off with the TH, that's a voice sound, th, and then we pull our tongue in to say the Z. Okay, clothes, th, clothes. So guys, I really, really, really hope you enjoyed it. As a little gift to you guys, we're going to give you a promo code. The promo code is Go Live. Okay, so you can use this promo code to sign up for Cambly if you haven't done so yet. You can, of course, recommend other students, your friends, your family to sign up to Cambly. We are always there for you. We can study with you. We can help you with interviews. I am a specialist in pronunciation. You can have classes with me, and I can teach you how to perfect your English pronunciation. Okay, so Go Live is the promo code for up to 36% off, depending on your plan. And guys, just so you know, just in case you're not very familiar with Cambly, Cambly is a platform that you can use to speak to native tutors from all over the world, people just like me. We can give you classes for preparing for your IELTS exam, for your TOEFL exam. We can just help you practice natural, normal conversation. Whatever it is, you're probably going to be able to find a tutor to help you with it. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can rewatch the video here on YouTube, share the link, share it to your Facebook, to your Twitter. You can also follow us on Instagram and you can rewatch the video there or share it with your friends. It's very important to us that you follow all of our social media and that you recommend Cambly to your friends and family. And if you haven't signed up, use the promo Go Live to take classes with me or with any of the many, many very good tutors that we have on the platform. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys. I see Sweli, I see Rana, I see Raji, I see Amita. Thank you guys for watching. See you very soon. See you on another live or see you in my class on Cambly. Okay? Bye.